Hey guys, I'm back on. I know it's late. Uh, Getting tired. Anyways, guys, today I'm going to talk about focused goal setting and the idea of just thinking positive thoughts. Let's be honest. Simply put, you cannot think yourself to lose 10 pounds. So we've all heard the children's book, I think I can, Thomas the Choo-Choo Train. And that whole movement of, saying I think I can was to teach children optimism, right? Optimism in bleak situations. We've also heard the quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that said, as a man thinketh, so he is, and as a man chooseth, so he is. So let's kind of like just dive in briefly into that whole frame of thinking. Well, when you think of your brain, I want you to think about this. It's very simplistic, right? So what I mean is what you think about starts to grow, right? You cannot not think about something, right? And I'll give you an example. If I say, don't think about a polar bear. What are you thinking about, right? You're thinking about a polar bear, right? The white polar bear phenom in sports psychology and whatnot. So instead, you got to focus on the things that you want rather than what you don't want, because that's what you tend to get, right? If you take a motorcyclist, right, on a bike, they tell cyclists whenever they're driving in a motorcycle and they see an accident, you don't stare at the accident, because what happens is you start to drift towards the accident. In fact, you want to focus on the point to where you want to go, right? So if you want to avoid the accident, you focus on a point away from the accident, and your bike actually starts to drift in that direction, right? Same thing happens whenever you're driving next to a car. You keep looking at the car. What happens? You start to drift near the car. So the same thing with your goals. What I want in my life, I focus on. And there's an interesting study that was done at Western Kentucky. And who was it? It was on New Direction and the goal setting theory. So the researchers, Locke and Latham, stated that goals direct attention, effort, and action toward goal-relevant actions at the expense of non-relevant actions, and also just as important. So typically, a goal once accepted and understood remains in the periphery of consciousness as a reference point for guiding and giving meaning to subsequent mental and physical actions. So to put this simply, goals provide direction and focus for all components of your mind. So whatever it is that you want to, get out of life, right? Since we're talking about fitness, I'll just kind of go that direction. When I work with clients, a lot of them come with negative thinking, right? So a lot of negative self-talk, right? Like, I hate running on a treadmill, or, hey, what's up, Brooke? Or I don't want to go to the gym early in the morning. That's fine. But instead of focusing on that, right, you'll start to get this disdain for doing that thing. Think about the things that you do like and that you do want, right? So if I want to lose weight, I don't want you to think about, I think I can, I think I can, I think it can. Take it a step further and say, no, I know I can and I will. Done, right? So in my mind, I've already told myself that this is already accomplished, right? And I start to live that out in my life. So the same thing with your goals, right? Whenever you're looking to lose weight, what I want you to do is create an emotional attachment to wanting to lose weight, right? So how do we create emotional attachments? We use our senses. So how do we create that emotional attachment? Well, we use our five senses, right? So I want you to make it as real as possible. So a pretty cool activity I like to have clients do is I want them to write how they feel when they lose 10 pounds, right? I want to know what clothes you're wearing when you lose 10 pounds. I want to know the smells. I want to know what it sounds like to lose 10 pounds, the sights, the sounds, the colors. And so what we're beginning to do is attach our senses to make it realer, right? To make it more real to us that it's already accomplished, right? Same thing goes with anything you want to accomplish in life. The way you make something become more attainable is you attach this emotional sense to it. So with your goals, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to write it down, but I want you to describe it in such a way as if it's already done. And that's a step to going after your goals, right? If I tell you not to think about something, that's not the way you achieve your goals. I want you to think about whatever it is that you want to go after and write it down and describe it as if it's already accomplished, so that you begin to create a picture for what it looks like to achieve your goal, right? And so that's how we go after goals. There's a saying that goes with focus, and I love this focus. Follow one course until successful. And that's what we do with our goals, is you follow one course until successful and you build on those wins. That's the same thing I did in my life. My dream was to play football, right, at UT. And you just follow one course, and then when you get there, you set another goal and you go after it. I love what Zig Ziglar says about reaching goals. A lot of times when we write our goals down, say if we have 10 goals, right? I don't know, to learn Spanish in a year, or to lose 20 pounds, or to run a marathon. After you write them down, write down the steps and how many hours it takes to achieve those goals. And what you start to find out, realistically speaking, you don't actually have enough time in a day or a year to go after those goals. And after you do that, you realize that this is something you really don't want to go after in the first place. And that's what we do with our goals. You write these down. You write steps. How many hours realistically in a day do you have to dedicate towards these? And if you don't find that you have the hours, then is it a goal worth going after, right? And these are questions we really got to ask ourselves. I tell my clients, like, hey, it needs to be something that, you jump up out of bed, right, for. It needs to be something that, a goal that is worth going after. If you're going to sacrifice, go after something that's worth going after, right? Don't just, I just want to lose a pound, right? Like, that's great, whoop-de-doo, but make it something to where your body gets excited, right? You jump for joy inside for achieving that goal. Guys, this is just a random, I know, talk, but just after kind of talking with some clients today, I just felt that I should share that message, guys, to focus. Follow one course until successful. Go after it. And instead of thinking, so just go after it, guys. I mean, go after your goals with all you got. I love the phrase, BHADS. Big, hairy, audacious dreams. So make sure that your dream is big, hairy, and audacious. I see you. Paw Patrol, what's up, man? All right, I'm out. I got to go do some work and read a couple pages to a book. Till next time, see you tomorrow.